My name's Scott Graham. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, specialized in sports medicine, and most of what I take care of is knee and shoulder injuries. But as a sports medicine specialist, still take care of the entire body. Well, omega-3s are the basis of every cell membrane in the body. It's an essential fatty acid you have to consume as a part of your regular diet in order for your body to function normally. Inflammation is part of a normal body process, and there's good inflammation, there's bad inflammation. There's inflammation that you can feel, and then there's silent inflammation. So while a lot of people talk about inflammation, not all inflammation is bad. You need inflammation for healing, for regeneration, for immunity. When I was first presented with MOXXOR by a patient of mine, I was actually a little bit skeptical because I hear a lot about things like this. I, however, did some due diligence and actually looked into the research that actually is in the medical journals and kind of found out that this is something that's been hidden in the literature for quite some time. And it was not a new idea or something new. It just is not well known. Because of that, I decided to give it a try myself. And I play a lot of basketball, do triathlons, very athletic. And one thing I've always had as I get a bit older is muscle fatigue, recovery is not as good as it used to be. When I started taking MOXXOR, I noted within a couple of weeks that I actually was having much less muscle soreness and able to recover much faster. And to me, that showed that instantly there was something different that I noticed just by changing and starting to take MOXXOR omega-3s. And I really didn't change anything else in my diet or exercise pattern, so I knew there was some validity to it. That then gave me the comfort in talking to other people and sharing with my patients and people I thought would benefit from it. One of the main reasons that either fish oil or green lip mussel oil or any source of omega-3s can not be as advertised is in the processing. And if you have the application of heat or other extreme measures, you'll have denaturing of the omega-3. And what happens is if you denature or damage these long polyunsaturated fatty acid chains, is that you'll have remnants or pieces of the omega-3 that might be measurable in the terms of milligrams, but not effective in the terms of what we really want to achieve. So when I spoke with Noel and John and Richie and Jeremy, the head scientist, those are things that I was interested in. And what I found is that they have a very unique process that no one else has. They have the machinery, the knowledge, the know-how to be able to process green lip mussel with very little heat to extract the oil. And through the processing that's done very quickly, they maintain the natural integrity of these long-chain, more polar fatty acids, which is really what we want. And that's one of the many reasons why MOXXOR ends up being such a potent product, because it is kept in its natural state. I think the reason that people respond so well to MOXXOR is multifactorial, and one of them is definitely the potency of the product. Number two is the addition of the antioxidants, which is a natural stabilizer, but also great for cell protection from free radicals. The size of the capsule is very important because the ability for a patient or a person to take MOXXOR on a regular basis is improved so much because of the small size of these capsules that are so much stronger than the large capsules. My patients, my family, don't like taking these large horse pills because of fish burp-ups or difficulty swallowing. And part of supplementation is a behavior that you repeat. It's not like an antibiotic where you might take it for 3, 4, or 5 days. You take it regularly. And in order to take something regularly, it needs to be easy, convenient. And that improves compliancy. So compliance is increased, potency is extremely increased, and there's no other product out there that has antioxidants. So it's so much superior, and all those combined are really what creates the health experience. MOXXOR is very different than other available omega-3s in quite a few ways. Number one is the source, and green lip mussel is a very potent omega-3. This has been shown in medical journals, scientifically based, peer-reviewed, that has shown that compared to fish oil, it's significantly, about 158 times more potent in an inflammation model than regular fish oil. So if you start with something that is much more potent, you're going to end with something which is much more potent when a consumer is taking it. You're going to have more of a health effect. You're going to have more benefit to the condition that you may be suffering from. But it's also different because it's mixed with an antioxidant. Most all, but not all, but most all other omega-3s add filler. They add soy oil, a lemon oil, an olive oil, something else to extrapolate the fish oil and make the pill larger. In this day and age, a lot of consumers feel that if it's bigger, it's probably better. If there's more milligrams, it's more potent, and that's just not true. What you want is something that's powerful and effective and bioavailable. And so what MOXXOR has done is they've taken something very effective, very powerful and potent, and mixed it with a natural stabilizer, which is an antioxidant. No other company has done that, and puts them together into a very small capsule. So that small capsule is unique in the sense that the ability to maintain the daily consumption or to stay compliant with taking a small capsule, which is really what's necessary, is there. The other thing is the environment where MOXXOR and the green lip mussels come from. Most people don't know this, but if you ask where does their fish oil come from, they say a store. They'll name a store. But what we really mean is where on the planet does it come from? Do we know the environment? Do we know the mixture of the fish? Do we really know what is in the environment these fish are coming from? So that creates a whole issue with contaminants, with PCBs, with dioxins, with heavy metals, and that is something that really we just don't know. What we do know about the green lip mussel is that it only grows in the Marlborough region of New Zealand. It doesn't grow anywhere else, so we know it's coming from a government-controlled environment that is the last organic country on this planet. It is pure, it is pristine, the waters flow up from the Antarctic, full of phytonutrients. That's what makes this mussel so special. So when you take that and you compare that environment, that mussel, that product, and you compare it to what you go buy elsewhere, we're talking about a very large difference in quality and in purity. So those are really what makes MOXXOR very different from what is commercially available. I suggest MOXXOR to quite a few of my patients, and what I have found is a very mixed bag of outcomes. I have some patients that notice something within a couple of weeks, and they have a dramatic improvement in their quality of life, in their condition, in their pain, in what they came to see me for. I have a group of patients also that I might share it with them for their shoulder problem. But next time I see them, they tell me that their problems with their eyes or condition with their colon or something else might have been improved, something else they weren't even thinking about, because again, omega-3s work in every organ system in the body. So I've had patients that took it and felt nothing, and they said, Dr. Graham, I don't feel any improvement, and they stopped taking it. Well, a couple weeks later, they realized how much it actually did help them, and they just weren't aware of it until they stopped it. So I have patients then that go back on it because of the improvement they have. And then there's a group of patients that don't have any real significant noticeable improvement. And what I tell them is, you got to remember omega-3s are great for prevention. American Heart Association says we should be taking these supplements for cardiac prevention, for health in the future. And so even if people don't get a specific response or improvement right away or something that they can put their finger on, it's helping them long term. The good and bad is that patients really do well on it. The bad is that sometimes patients do so well that other people expect to do as well, and that can be a little bit difficult when you have one gentleman that might have a condition with his knee scheduled for surgery, starts taking MOXXOR, and he decides to put off surgery because his knees feel so good and they haven't felt that great in years. And I've seen that. I've seen patients that have had significant knee problems, haven't run in years because of their inflammation of their knees. And once they start MOXXOR, specific patient of mine has now been able to run 3-4 miles 3-4 times a week. If someone would have told me this before I understood what I know now, I would not have believed it. I would say this is snake oil, this is a scam, it's crazy. But it's real, and there's medical literature to support it.